This Monero Matteo video is sponsored by Cakewallet. Safely store, send, receive, and trade your Monero on Cakewallet on Android and iOS. What's going on, guys? Monero Matteo, welcome back. I have a big grin on my face. Not grin the privacy coin, but grin as in, wow, there's just so many great things happening here in the Freedom Coin Covenant. Specifically with Haven, we're going to go through some of the developments with Haven 2.0 today. And I said I was going to be releasing a video yesterday. I couldn't do it. There was just too much going on. But it's Providence that I waited to do it today because there were some great developments that just came to the fore today with our lovely Cakewallet. We love Cakewallet. Sponsor the channel. Thank you, Cakewallet. But yes, it looks like they're going to be integrating with Thorchain, Haven, and Monero. So we see private DeFi starting to expand. And with everything that we've been talking about recently, with the new legislation that just passed in Congress, and just about everything else that we talk about here on the channel, whoa, I mean, it's just going to go freaking nuclear. It looks like moves have already begun. There's some excitement brewing under the surface. But yeah, I mean, just amazing, amazing, amazing things happening in this sector, guys. And if you guys are new to this channel, watch more of our videos. And if you want to get the DL on Haven, we did an interview about a month back with Hawk from the Haven community. Great guy. Love the Haven community, by the way. I mean, just so many great people in that community. The ex-Chad Army. The Haven Mavens, we love them, but you'll find a lot of good information there about the project, the fundamental tenets of it, how it works. And we also did a video recently on how Haven relates to just stablecoins in general, and some of the developments happening in that sector with regulation. And I know some people are worried about regulation in regards to Haven because there is some centralization seemingly to it. We talked with Arctic Mind about that. Go see the interview. But I talked to the team also to catch up with their thoughts on that. You can see that in the interview with Hawk. But yeah, I mean, just so many great developments. We're going to go through them today. And first off, just want to give a shout out to the patrons, Josh, Lutz, Henrik, Stuart, Ken, and Ronan. I always forget Ronan. I'm sorry, Ronan. You're a great patron. Much love going out to you. And somebody had sent a Pirate Chain super chat, and I received it. It says, does it matter if Monero, R, etc. price goes up? I think so. I would like the price to go up. But does it fundamentally matter? I think, honestly, with this world that we're moving into, if you have exposure to these assets, I mean, you're way ahead of the game. You're way ahead of everybody else. And as far as what these things are priced in, as far as US dollars go, doesn't really matter too much to me because the dollar is worthless fiat. They're printing that into oblivion. And soon there's just going to be an economy which raises up to have goods and services be transacted with people who otherwise can't get access to the main economy. We've talked about that. I'll link a video somewhere. But yes, it does matter to some degree, and we've talked about price manipulation here on the channel a little bit with Kevin Wad and some others. Some interesting ideas there, but for the most part, guys, it's just about using these currencies, okay? It's just about getting these things used in the economy and adopted. And if we do that, then the price will take care of itself. So to begin, we are excited. This is from the Haven Protocol team. We're excited to share Cypher Stack has completed an extensive audit of Haven 2.0, which is the new iteration of Haven. And if you guys aren't aware, there was a hack back in June that made known an inflation bug. People took advantage of this. And it caused a lot of problems, as you can imagine. And now they're rising back from the dead. The Phoenix is rising from the ashes. Haven 2.0 is on the way. And Cypher Stack, which comprises some really well-respected people in the Monero community, like Sarang, but I can't say for sure whether or not Sarang worked on this particular project, but he's part of Cypher Stack. And we'll get to some other things that he's worked on in the community. Sarang just doing the Lord's work. But yeah, they just completed an extensive audit, and the code is deemed to be secure for deployment. So it's ready to rock and roll. It's our last milestone, they say. We're planning to launch Haven 2.0 the week of November 15th. So that's about a week away, guys, a week or two. And we're starting to see excitement brew over this. It looks like the price is moving up. Let me just pull up my lovely Trade Ogre. We love Trade Ogre, don't we? If they could be a sponsor of the channel, that'd be awesome because we love them. But check it out. Over the last couple of weeks, you've just seen a consistent appreciation here, particularly over the last week. You've seen some appreciation here, and this is great. It's moved up about 5,000 Satoshis, and yeah, there's some excitement for it, which is fantastic. But there are some new things about Haven 2.0 that they made a tweet about that we'll just run through real quick. There's a new mint and burn validation, and quickly you can burn your Haven and mint new X assets like X US dollar, X yen, X. Actually, I think they're putting the yen on hold for now. I think I read that somewhere. But X gold, X silver, and it allows you to get access to different currencies privately. And it's a synthetic asset, so you don't have the underlying currency necessarily. You just have exposure to the price movements of it. And they use oracles to do this. It's a really cool system. And so that is now a new, they've remade the code for that so that it's more robust, and so it's ready to rock and roll. They've refactored the code base. They've done penetration testing, cryptographic analysis, closed testnet, public testnet, Cypher stack audit, and now they're ready for the fork. And they say the launch of Haven 2.0 is now just days away. Rocket ship. Yep. So awesome. People are like, yeah, this is rocking. There's Will Ferrell from Elf running around. Yeah, it's a joyous time. And then they said, during development and testing of Haven 2.0, our devs plus contributors also identified improvements to our lovely Monero. We love it. And so this is why I think it's so great that all of our communities work together. I am not a maximalist, but I am Monero first. And I think that whenever somebody in one community does something for the benefit of their currency, other communities can look at that and be like, wow, this is a great development. I wonder what we can learn from them to integrate into our project to make our project better. And guys, it's not necessarily about the means. It's not necessarily about the currency itself. It's about the end. It's about liberty. It's about financial freedom and defeating the revolutionary money changers that are destroying our world and making it so that we can put the power of the purse back in the people and make the people's money truly functional and awesome. So yeah, we share these to strengthen Monero itself and contribute to the privacy community more broadly. We're all in this together, 100%. Love it. The two real cryptocurrencies, privacy, hashtag my stack is for my eyes only. Yeah, this guy's like, yeah, Infinity scam stuff. Whatever. You're going to get the haters. But I think it's great that we're working together. So, a guide to Haven 2.0. So we'll dig a little bit into what's going on here. And this is just a little bit of a lowdown at the history that we talked about between July and November 2021. The Haven Protocol development team delivered the most significant upgrade the project has ever seen. Without changing the mainnet chain or coins, we have completely overhauled and improved the mass, the code behind the protocol, delivering a broad range of important security enhancements, which is what we need, right? You want to make sure the code is good. In addition, processes within the project have been changed as a result of the key lessons learned. So this is the new iteration of the project, and there are some really interesting there's an interesting roadmap that is now on the way, and there have been some concerns about decentralization of the project, and this could cause regulatory problems. This could cause single point of failure problems. I've heard from a lot of you about this stuff. Trust me. But this seems to be their path ahead here, and this is their roadmap. Phase 1, launch. Phase 2, growth. And Phase 3, decentralized. And it says here, for funding, block reward and fees plus donations is how they're currently operating this. And then that's also going to be part of Phase 2 for growth. And then for the third phase, the final phase, decentralized, it's just going to run on donations, just like Monero does. But I do have a little bit of a back of the mind concern that says because they had that developer tax at one point, who knows if this is going to open it up to regulatory scrutiny anyway. But that's just me being honest about my concern with that. I'm probably going to do another interview with Hawk when all this is done. He said he'd come back on. I'm looking forward to that, and I'd love to learn more about that. But this is great. More decentralized developments. That's what everybody wants to see here, of course. Achieve self-sustainability under the direction of the foundation, decentralized platform, decentralized community. Great stuff. And as of now, it's a small open source community. And then it's going to be led by the foundation-led core team in the growth sector. And then at some point, it's just going to run on its own. Like, assuming that it works fine, you let it out, and it grows up and becomes a beautiful family of a community that is in it together, or something like that. I don't know where I just went. Okay, so the aim of Haven Protocol is always clear: solve an unsolvable problem, build the product, gain mass adoption, and then set it free. So yeah, that's what they just said. Set it free. They want to nurture it a little bit, make sure it's being cared for, and then when it can stand on its own 2 feet, you let it go out into the wild, and then everyone can use it, and it can be integrated into whatever it could be integrated into, like Thorchain or maybe Haveno coming down the line. Haveno, Haven coming together. Whoa, that's just Providence right there. Now that a range of X assets are live, this is the perfect opportunity to focus on the path ahead and give our community further details about our long-term priorities, which we just talked about. So this is pretty good. As of now, they do have conversion fees. They have block mining rewards, but they do want to get rid of that. And guys, just remember to donate to these projects. I put the link in my description below for the CCS proposals that are out there in the Monero community. So I encourage everyone to go fund those projects, and I encourage everyone to fund other people who are working on making this a reality. And mining fees and conversion fees are annoying features of POW projects. Everybody realizes this, of course, in decentralized exchanges, but simply put, the project would not exist without them. And we see this a little bit with some other projects. They have pre-mines. They have other things that raise alarm bells and perk people's ears of concern. Like we saw with Darrow, for instance, they have a 2 million token pre-mine, which they're going to use for marketing. And to some degree, it is not ideal, but it does help grow the project, assuming that the funds are spent wisely and for the end goal. So that makes sense. That makes sense. And this is what they've been spending all of the money on. They've spent $250,000 on exchange fees. They use Chainlink, and so they're spending 1,600 Chainlink on the Oracle fees. So there will have to be maintenance costs with this stuff over time. And there is a new decentralized, quote-unquote, private Oracle on the scene called Equilibria. But we talked with the team when we did the interview, and they said that, yeah, Chainlink, it's fine. I know people have concerns about it, but it doesn't compromise the privacy of the project because they just remit information to us. That's what they say. You could look at the reasoning more so behind that in the interview, but they don't really plan on moving from Chainlink to something like Equilibria as far as I'm concerned. So that's just something to note. I know that some of you have asked me about that, so that's my position on that. Hardcore infrastructure, they've spent money on lawyers, and that's interesting to see. They've spent money on lawyers, okay? Because some people, like, when they hear about Haven offshore crypto banking, they're like, oh, dude, this is like, whoa, illegal. But they are working with lawyers, and we did talk with Hawk about that as well. They are trying to stay in compliance with everything that's going on, and so there is legitimacy to this. Marketing, they've spent money on. Not too much marketing. But that's why I'm here. I'm not getting paid, but I do love the project. Core team payments, 170,000 XHV. Other contributors are getting paid as well, but you can take a look at all that stuff. And here's just, kind of like a financial audit as to how much has been spent. Some pretty good accounting going on there, thankfully. Again, adding legitimacy, in my opinion, in my eyes, to the project. So yeah, you could read about the roadmap here in more detail, but I thought that this was something that granted it more legitimacy, at least to me. I like knowing that the endpoint is decentralization and making it so that you don't have to have a centralized core team that has to always be like overlooking this thing. Like the idea that they just want to like let this thing go and have it sustain on its own 2 legs at one point is very ideal to me. So there's that, but there's some updates here. They've done bug bounty programs, and anyone who can find bugs in the code, they're going to pay you nicely, $100,000 per contribution. So they are open arms. They want everyone to look at the code and find any problems with it, which grants some confidence, right? And if you don't know, you won't need to convert your Haven into anything else after the fork. Your coins will not need to be swapped. They're still going to be valid, so you don't have to worry about anything with that. You may have to re-download the vault, and there are some other developments going on there. So you could read more into that. I'm just kind of giving you guys an overview. But CypherStack has been working on the audit, and a lot of people love CypherStack. They do a lot of great work in the privacy community. They've worked on Epic Cash, I think, and so many of you guys are reaching out to me to talk about Epic Cash. I know nothing about it. It looks like it did go nuclear recently from like 30 cents to $3. Good for you guys, but I don't know anything about the project. Maybe I'll talk to somebody from there, but it looks like they have talked to them at one point. I thought they had a place for their clients. I thought they had worked with Epic Cash on things. Hold on, give me a second here. I know they... Okay, so yeah, Monero, Firo, Sweetwater, which I think Dr. Daniel Kim is a part of, and then Epic Cash here. And I was interested to see Epic Cash. People have good things to say about it. But interestingly enough, they've also worked on Xano. And I've talked a little bit about Xano. I think Xano is an interesting project. You have, I think his name is like Zoidberg or something like that. He's the person who was behind the original CryptoNote protocol upon which Monero was established. And you also have Coey working on this particular paper. And I think he started to overlook this paper, and he found so many things to make edits on that they just included him on this. But it says a proof-of-stake scheme for confidential transactions with hidden amounts. So we're going to see proof-of-stake privacy in Xano, and that's a great technological development, which is pretty exciting. So I think they're tremendously undervalued. Roger Ver is a part of that project as well, and he sees potential. And we'll do other videos on this. This is about Haven for the most part, but I thought that was interesting because like Sarang's on the scene as well. Hold on. Yeah. We're pleased to announce that the Soli & Co. proof of stake with hidden amount scheme will be peer reviewed by highly respected cryptographer Sarang at the end of November. So that's great. They're the people. I mean, I don't know if Sarang was one of the people who himself audited Haven, but he's part of CypherStack. So again, you have that legitimacy there. But Co is one person who I think is working right now on Seraphis for Monero. Doug has talked about that with him on his channel. Go check that out. I've not covered that, although I did do a nature walk talking a little bit about the implications of it. So, yep, pretty cool stuff. And Sarang has also worked on Oxen. And some of you have told me about Oxen. The Loki Foundation has contributed $15,000 towards the Q2 2009 research costs of Sarang Noether from Monero Research Labs, recognizing that the advances in the CryptoNote protocol benefit all of us. So maybe he didn't work on Oxen, but Oxen's contributing to the growth of the privacy sphere, which is great. So good for Oxen, good for anyone who's really getting out there to try to connect all of our efforts together. I really appreciate that. And I think a lot of people in every community have this perspective. I think it's a minority perspective in each different group that, you know, maximal is the way to go. My coin's the best, this coin's the best, this coin's the best. Yeah, it's good to be passionate, but I think most people in most communities want to work together because they realize the end is what this is all about. So, so just some excitement about what's going on here. I've said this once, but I'll say it again. This is from Cryptocurrency, Twitter, 184,000 followers. Haven is one of the best projects I've ever seen in crypto. XHV will be massive. Haven 2.0 is coming. So he seems pretty stoked. This is great news. But let's get to some of the new exciting developments that just came out today. So Monero, the main Twitter for Monero, said that we're delighted to share that Thorchain, in collaboration with Cakewallet, we love Cakewallet, and Haven is working on integrating Monero. Amazing. And we talked about that a little bit in our Thorchain Haven 2.0 video. Haven 2.0 video. Go check that out. We talk about some of the implications with that. Thorchain is sort of like this decentralized exchange. You could look more into that. You could do swaps. You could do liquidity pool stuff. It's pretty cool. But they're integrating Monero and Haven, which means privacy is going to be more easily accessible to people in DeFi, which is like really, really cool. Good stuff. Thorchain developers, together with Monero and Haven developers, will be releasing a crypto note Bifrost. It will take some time, but the world's brightest privacy minds are focused on this problem. Everyone will need it. This is from Thorchain. So that is like really, really promising, dude. Really, really promising. Love to see it. Again, guys, this is going to be huge. We're so early. Like, I can't believe that this isn't on the minds of like half the people in crypto. I can't believe that this isn't on the forefront of everybody's brain, because this is just going to be so revolutionary, so huge. This is what the original crypto ethos was about. Is about just making an economy, a financial world, which puts money back in the hands of the people, and it has to be private in that case. And not only because of the fungibility, which is very important, which we've talked about here, but so that you don't have crazy third parties trying to make it so that they can suck the life out of you and watch everything you do and use that info against you. As we say on the channel, anything on public blockchains can and will be used against you, 100%, especially in this world, especially given, and I always say pay your taxes, but the IRS just got granted $80 billion in this new bill. They're going to be going after crypto people hella. And whenever there's an expansion of tax authority, the tax code, there is a loss of financial privacy. And I'm not saying that you should evade taxes. Absolutely don't do that. Pay your taxes, keep track of your gains and losses. But I'm just saying, whenever the IRS expands, whenever there is an expansion of the tax code, you have less financial privacy. And there's more of your financial information going out there for people to watch, to analyze, and to figure out how to use against you. So that is worth noting. And this is from our friend Zab. Zab, what's up? We love Zab. He's a cool guy. I see you, Cakewallet. Imagine a time when Monero users will be able to swap their Monero for the stable private equivalent in X US dollars. They'll have the ability to offshore without having to actually use Haven's vault. This will all be possible within Cake. Love it. That is really, really cool. And Cake had said, we will initially enable distributed exchanges, XMAR to Bitcoin, XMAR to Litecoin, XMAR to X US dollar, and then we will add the ability for users to provide XMAR liquidity to trading pools, all within Cakewallet. Whoa, crazy. Cakewallet's just like so ahead of the curve. Are they not? So ahead of the curve. That's why they maybe sponsor the channel, but not trying to be prideful. Before we add LP to Cakewallet, users can add XMAR liquidity manually. And if you know how to do that, cool. But I'm not so good at this DeFi stuff. Some of you guys will have to teach me this. But Cakewallet responds to Zab, and they say, keep an eye on our account the next few weeks. We may have a surprise for you. So, cool. That is just awesome. Throw a party. We ought to have a big crypto party in private somewhere. What am I talking about? Okay, Haven Protocol. Check it out. I'm going to take a look at the price. Just past $10. And I think it crashed from like 27 when, the shizness hit the fan back in July. Yeah, about $27, and then down to the dumps. But it went down to like $2. I think I remember it going down to like $1.99, if I remember right. Not a bad time to accumulate, but yeah, it's been on the way up ever since then if you look at the chart. But, wow, what else to say? Haven 2.0 is coming. Integration with Thorchain is coming. Monero's in on the action. Good things happening for Xano. the community is coming together, which is just fantastic. I mean, the more that we can build a united front and have the Freedom Coin Covenant become a rallying cry for people who want privacy and crypto and fungible money and true digital cash, which will be the future of the people's money, the more I think we can succeed and build a bright future for said people. So that's all. That's all. I mean, we could go through more detail, but I think that just about covers it. And if you guys have questions, leave them in the comments. If you guys have comments, leave them in the comments. And remember to like the video, guys. Remember, when you engage in the video, it moves it up into the algorithms, which is fantastic. And that's it. That's it. If you want to check us out on social media, I've got the links in the description below. Donation addresses for all the lovely privacy coins. Pirate Chain, Darrow, Haven, of course, Monero, Concealed Network. I think I've got one more down there. Xano, of course. You can help out the channel that way, or you can become a patron, like our friends Josh, Lutz, Henrik, Ronan, Stuart, and Ken. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, the Haven community, for continuing the awesome work. And thank you for everyone in the sector for working together to make this awesome. I'm just a hype man. I love the projects. I'm not a technical guy, but because you guys are doing the work, it can be made easy for somebody like me to get financial privacy and to have my money back in the hands of me. So that's great. Thank you for tuning in. Monero Matteo. We'll see you guys soon. God bless.